Welcome to the Shortwave Radio channel. And I'll kind of refresh the memory a little bit for those that don't know what this is exactly. Of course, a lot of you are new to the channel and might not even have seen videos or know that I own one. So the ICOM ICR 8500, which is the big radio here at the bottom, just under the Yaesu at the top. This is a receiver only, and it's a wideband receiver. It goes all the way down from about 100 kilohertz long wave all the way up to 2 gigahertz in the UHF range. This is the export version that they call, so it doesn't have any blocks of frequencies that are removed. And it is it replaced my Kenwood R5000 somewhere in 2010, 2011. And it was my main shortwave radio for a few years until I got SDRs and started seeing the SDR and having fun with software-defined receivers. It was kind of dormant, so it was there on the table not doing anything, and I thought, well, it has to get back. It has to be included again in the radios that I use. It's a fun-to-use radio. I did get over the years, a few people asking me, the impression, what do I think of this radio? Is it, one of the best radios around and so on? What I would say is it's a very good radio. The best around, I don't agree that it's the best radio around, but it is a very good radio. It's obviously, better than a lot of radios, that's for sure. This receiver, where I did see a little bit of that it does lack slightly, is on shortwave particularly, I've noticed, because I owned the Kenwood R5000 before. And when I got to the ICOM, I noticed that the Kenwood R5000 does have an edge, a little something more for radio reception than the ICOM does. Overall, I also find that the audio coming out of the ICOM, I was always been a little harsher than what I'm used to, especially with the Kenwood that had pretty good audio on that side too. But it is overall a very good receiver, very, very decent receiver. And of course, the main reason I chose this radio was because of its wideband coverage. It's not what we call a scanner radio. It's really what we call a communications receiver. So it goes up to 2 gigahertz, and even up at 2 gigahertz, I can use upper, lower sideband modes. So that is more for the practical side of having a receiver that gets all the frequency ranges that I wanted, plus all the different modes. So for example, for the first time, I was able to listen to amateur radio satellites thanks to the fact that it has single sideband on the VHF, UHF range. It is a very capable receiver, and I'm still very happy to own one. If anybody out there would see one, because I do have requests from time to time, people saying, well, should I purchase one of those if I have one at a decent price? Question is, what is a decent price? For $200-300, it's a very decent price that I would probably check. But honestly, with all the radios we have today, I wouldn't go and pay too much of a high price for a radio like this. I would not be one. If I'd see one used from a seller for $700 or $800, I personally, and that's my personal opinion, think that it's way too expensive for a used receiver of that kind, even though it's not a bad radio. I've never thought that receivers or radios that age really are worth much in general, because there's so much new offerings today. And if you're going to shed out so much money for a radio, maybe look at other possibilities around you. There are receivers older than this that actually are as good, if not better, on shortwave. There are, of course, this one has wideband, so not a lot of receivers have the wideband capability. So it depends what you are looking on. But overall, I'm still happy, and I still think it's a great radio. But if you see a used one and want to purchase, don't pay too high of a price, as I don't think they are worth really a very high price used on the used market, basically. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.